Good day. It's in the morning. There's still a heat wave, but I saw that in the forecast it's going to be like this for a really long time, and I did want to move some plants around to fill in the spaces of the lamian that I ripped out, and I just noticed that there's some overcrowding. So we're going to do that today. This blue salvia catamia is actually still in good looking shape. It's starting to finish its blooms in the front, and I think what I'm going to do is it's kind of overcrowding this tall phlox. So I'm going to take a chunk out of it, probably this amount, shear it back down because it will bring a second flush, and put it in this space here so that there'll be kind of like a drift of salvia. Then over here in the island bed, I have this white tall phlox, and no, I shouldn't move a perennial when it's in bloom, but you know, fast and loose over here. It was here before I'd put in this shrub, and I do want this shrub, which is called a 9-bark ginger wine variety, and I want it to spread and have a lot of like airflow and that kind of stuff, and this one's only gonna get bigger, so oh, and I did Chelsea chop half of it, so you'll notice that there's some fresh growth, so it's gonna flush out later anyways, even if these end up wilting from the move and just being stressed out. I also have some creeping phlox here that's encroaching too much center that I kind of want to drag more here into the Angelina sedum. So I'm just going to kind of move that around. Also, let's go around here. This is Midnight Masquerade penstemon, and it's beautiful. It's not done, so I shouldn't touch it, and I probably won't. It like just fits. I had to take out some right here because I didn't want it to lay on top of the little blue spruce globe there, but it does technically fit in this space. Well, one of them does, so it has 2 in there. So I'm thinking is I'm gonna take out one of the 2 and put it in this hole here, and I'll be taking the white phlox and putting it all the way in that back corner behind the red euchera. So that's the plan today. No, I don't recommend doing this in the middle of the summer. You're supposed to do this in spring, but sometimes I can't predict how fast things are going to grow, or whenever I put in a new shrub, or when I suddenly decide that lamian is, I found out it's an invasive, and I didn't want to keep an invasive plant in my yard, right? So when things like that happen, and then you see the holes every day, right? You're like, that needs plants. And so you're just like, I just want to move it now. Not that I'm going to forget in the fall, but I just want to move it now. And then all you have to do is, if you do move it in the heat, in the middle of it flowering, then probably just really water it, like every day water it. And I have the luxury of being off all summer, so I can water it every morning, no problem, so that, you know, it still be stressed out, but it'll survive no problem. My phone overheated, so I couldn't finish. It overheated and it was in the shade. That's how hot it is. All right, so let me show you what I did. Here I split this salvia in half, and it did not come with a very good root ball, though. I think I was getting a lot of very new growth, and so the roots were like very short. So it's gonna be hit or miss if this is going to survive. So I put it right there, and I chopped it all down so it could just focus on its root development. So probably won't see any more blooms on this one unless it's really late in the season, depending on, you know, the growth habit of this particular salvia. Then I moved the penstemon in here, and I love it so much. And it's got lots of room to spread, but also I could put my more delphiniums back here. I was waiting for this stump to rot, which it has. It's pretty easy to cut through now. So I think I can dig out some room to put some of my delphiniums there. Around this corner here, I didn't actually move much of this because this creeping phlox is like, it's not even rooted, right? It's a carpet that can lift. So I just kind of left it there for now. And taking out the, what was here, phlox, left a lot of room. And so I just moved these irises over a little bit. And that way, and when you move irises, don't forget to not put them in too deep. Like, they like to kind of have their rhizomes sun tanning, right? So they're just kind of hanging out on the edge there. And now my 9-bark has lots of room to spread out. And even this echinacea has a lot more breathing room for now, which I know that eventually this echinacea is going to get crowded out by the shrub, but then I can take it and move it here and move some of that Atlantis over as well. So it's just a lot of shuffling, which is another reason why I don't like mulch, because I shuffle so much. Here's the remainder. So this was one separate chunk and the other one was on a separate chunk, which is why they split so easily, because it was just, I didn't even split them. It was its own plant. So I just moved, this guy was shoved over here, encroaching on this shrub. So I just kind of centered him, and I know he's gonna grow and I'll always have to cut back, but that's okay. There's just more breathing room for this guy and this guy. That's a euonymus. And the other thing was, I'm just shading my endless summer hydrangea here. I showed you in the other video, but yeah, getting some good shade. Here's where I put the tall white phlox, and it's perfect here. It moved well. It was its own clump, and then I shoved the euchera in front of it just to have that kind of ground cover. Although I really should have two things here. Well, no, the euchera gets a lot bigger. Like, if that gets this size, then that would be great. We'll see. And it spills over onto this little pad here. So that's it. I watered everything really, really deeply, really well, so that it doesn't have too much stress. And then I'll give you an update on how they do in maybe a couple of weeks. Until next time.